What's up YouTube, this is Jacob, and in this video I'm going to be doing another comb over. I know when I did one before, but I want to show you the same haircut with different hair texture. And this particular client, he has very coarse hair, so it's a little tougher to deal with. But like always, let's go ahead and jump in. First you want to go ahead and comb the hair, get it laying right. And then you set your first guideline in, your bald guideline. And I kinda am gonna set this guideline in real low, as you see here. And that's just to give me room to fade. On the hard part side, he likes to leave a little bulk at the top. So I wanna make sure I have enough room to spread the fade as much as I can. So go ahead, you set your guideline all the way around the head, and that's the first step. After you set in your first guideline, the ball guideline, the next step is you want to use no guard open, and I like to go about a ½ inch to a ¼ inch above your initial guideline. And I'll go all the way around the head sometimes, but for the video's sake I just do one side of the head first, and then I'll show you the next side. And like always, I don't necessarily like to set all these guidelines in and then come back and put guards back on to erase them. I'll just take them out as I go. That's what I'm doing here. I'm going back, and I'm just going to take out that initial guideline and just blend it in while I still have no guards on, and it'll save some time at the end where I can really detail. Now after you're done erasing that first guideline, you jump to your one guard open and you set in your second guideline. In this guideline I do about an inch, because the one guard it's pretty dark, and you want to give yourself room to blend, because you just skip the guard, you skip the zero guard, so you'll go back and you'll flick that bottom line out with the zero guard. So you want to make sure you give yourself room. And after you're done using the one guard open, I like to shut the one guard and go back and just soften that line. It's not going to take it out, it's just going to make it a whole lot easier when you come back with your zero guard. Now that we soften that line up, like I said before, we can go back and flick that line out with the zero guard. And with this hair texture, I might not take it all the way out, but we can always go back with no guard open and flick the rest out. As you see though, it takes a lot of it out, and it really helps you skipping that guard save some time, so you can add some time to the end to detail. And especially when you have people waiting on you as a barber, that's kind of that's tough to do. You gotta really be able to not get overwhelmed when you're cutting hair and people are waiting. After you're done touching up that guideline, I use the Oster fast feeds every haircut, but I love to pick up my Wall Magic clips, because Wall has a guard 1.5, and it blends awesome between the 1 and the 2 magnetic purple guards. So I pick it up and it details awesome, especially with this hair texture. It's tough, you know, you gotta really work at it. And as you can even see there, I'm turning my clipper sideways and going in all different kinds of directions, and you know, and that's just dark areas. You have low areas, high areas, so anything helps with his hair texture, and I love that Walt came out with this guard. So after I used the 1.5 guard, I saw some areas that needed attention. So as a newer barber, I suggest you do this. Don't wait till the end if you see some pretty dramatic areas that need attention. Just tack it there, because sometimes as newer barbers we might forget and not really see it at the end. So I always suggest just knock it out there, and you'll see here, I'm gonna speed it up, but you'll see I kind of do a little bit of detail work in the middle. Alright, after I knock some of that detail work, I slap my 2 guard on, and this is open, and as you see, just now in the video I showed you, I'm not necessarily digging in, I'm flicking out. I'm just trying to get the rest of the bulk out as much as I can before I do some shear over comb. So after I knock some bulk out, I always do a little bit of shear over comb, and I just think it cleans it up a little more. And what I'm showing you here in this video is you want to get the hair that's coming off the spine of the comb. You don't want to necessarily take a ton off. Just get what's coming off the spine of the comb. And if you have to, use a white comb. White combs are great for darker hair. You can see the hair a little better. Alright, I got my texturing shears going now, and his hair is so dark that I'm just right now trying to get rid of some bulk, just to lighten it up from the blend into the bulk that he wanted to keep on this side. I also want to say, anytime you ever see me step back and you see my client kind of spin in the chair a little bit, that's me checking the mirror. The mirror's your best friend. You always want to get another look at the haircut and look at it level, and so always use the mirror, remember that. Anytime I use shear over comb and then the texturing shears, I always throw on a higher guard than what I initially used at the end of the blend where the bulk was. So I used the 2. So now I threw on the 3, and that's just to clean up from where it goes from clipper into the shears. So I'm just gonna let it continue to fast forward. Here I'm just detailing. Try to follow along a little bit. I'm just going back basically and checking everything and making sure this side of the haircut looks good. So now I'm going to begin on doing the same exact steps on the back and the other side. I'm just going to let it fast forward through, guys, let you guys jam out to the music. And I just want to let you guys know this beat that you guys are listening to, this is a good friend of mine. He makes beats. His name's Jehu Musics. I'll leave a link in my description. So you guys can go check him out, go show some love. Awesome guy. I'm just detailing, going back, double checking. And if you guys can get to the point where you're not setting a bunch of guidelines and going back to erase them and just erasing them as you go, you'll have plenty of time to go back and check your work and erase and just really detail and master your work. I think I did this haircut in probably 35-40 minutes. So I mean, you obviously can have plenty of time to really detail. I do want to give my client here a shout out. His name's Gustavo Cabrera. He's probably one of the most genuine people I know. So I'm gonna leave his link as well in the description below. Go check him out. He's just a really awesome guy. So check him out, show him some love, and be encouraged by his work. I guarantee you will be. So as you guys can see, you kind of got to go back with this type of hair texture and really detail it. It's pretty tough, so make sure you guys are paying attention and you know, really go back and check it out and care for your client. They really notice that kind of stuff, and they won't mind the extra few minutes you spend on their hair. Alright, so we're gonna jump into the top. He doesn't want any length off the top, but I'm still gonna saturate his hair because I want to take some length off the sides to give it a little better look, blending into the sides. So make sure you saturate it and get it totally wet, comb through it and get it positioned right. So once you got it all saturated and combed through, you want to go through and grab, you don't want to take too much off the front, but you want to grab it as I am here, and you can see, I'm going to show you, you see the guideline from the side and you see how much hair is sticking out. You want to go ahead and just keep your fingers straight up and down and take whatever bulk you have off there, and once you dry it, it'll look really, really good. Now I'm gonna put in the hard part. He asked for it, and I always like to hold my clippers upside down first. But I barely just tap it because I'll go back and do it the other way. I like a crispy line on both sides. Alright, so here I'm gonna show you his hairline. He's kinda got like a widow's peak. I did not push his hairline back. He prefers it this way to get rid of that little part there, and his hairline's really not a crispy like fire hairline. He just likes it touched up a little bit. He doesn't like it too crazy, so it's not gonna be like some crispy clean hairline. He just likes it pretty natural, so just gonna touch it up and throw the razor on it. I was kind of struggling getting the hair to lay right, so the best trick is just throw a little bit of hairspray on it and brush the hair where you want it and let it dry for a minute, and it always does its job. And you can see I went from my blackouts, using my blackouts here, and I will switch to my Slimline Pro LIs. They just, for this hair texture, they just cut a little better. Normally I would do the shaver in the beginning, but here I didn't know how high I was going to take the bald line up initially, because I know he wanted to leave some bulk, so I wanted to save that for last until the haircut's pretty much finished, and then I can really see where I want to bald it out at. And with these shavers, try to go down first. I know this is, you can't really tell, but I did go down first and then up. It helps not put in such a hard line, and you will see me go back with my trimmers and touch up the little lines that I did accidentally put in with the shavers. So real quick, you see me patting his head. I'm actually putting a little bit of aftershave. Clients love it, especially after you use the shaver, and sometimes it gets a little rough on their neck. So here I'm gonna go ahead and start with the razor. Always want to go against the grain with the hair. It just gives it a little crispier lineup. Like I said before, this isn't gonna be the crispiest lineup you see, and that's per client's request. He just likes a little natural, nothing too crazy. Alright, well, this is the cut. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Subscribe, like, give me some feedback. Just, tell me what I can do, what you guys see that I can do better. But I appreciate you guys viewing. I'll try to put out more